Welcome back to DecoyNoise and another episode of Am I the Antagonist in Am I the Antagonist for telling relatives how much I make and defending my salary? So as always, we read the story in its entirety, we rush it over the Decoy Court where I give you my knee-jerk reaction, I read over some of the top comments and the controversial comments, then I read your comments down below, but as you can tell, I'm still pretty sick in that whole quarantine mode, but let's go ahead and get to the story right now. So OP wrote, over the weekend, I, a 23-year-old female, went to dinner with some of my dad's relatives who I don't see very often. My dad has never gotten along with my uncle, his brother, and I haven't either. He's rude, condescending, and we don't agree with him on a lot of things. Normally, I just try to ignore him. However, at dinner, my uncle asked me about my car I had shown up in my new job. I started my job a little over a year ago after graduating college, and I worked hard for it. I make a lot of money, and I'm proud of that. I'm a software engineer. I recently bought myself a dream car I've always wanted. Uncle asked, how much are they paying you anyway, in a condescending tone, and I just point blank told him how much I make. I guess I was supposed to laugh and say something like, oh, enough, but I told him the number. He started going off on a rant about how no 23-year-old should make that much money and how stupid my company is for paying me that much. I got pissed and said, I deserve every penny I make. I work hard and most people can't do what I do. Well, I guess this really made my uncle angry because after dinner I received a text from my cousin saying I had been really rude at dinner and insulted my uncle's intelligence. My dad sided with me since he hates my uncle anyway, but my sister agreed with my cousin and said I shouldn't have said how much money I make or talked to my uncle the way I did because it was impolite. Am I the antagonist? So as always, you take the case and rush it over to Decoy Court, and it's one of those sad things where, yes, there is a polite way to go about this, and there is the subreddit is, am I the antagonist? Am I being mean when I could have been nicer? The sad part is, yes, old people likely could have done it, but the whole adage of people that live in glass houses shouldn't be throwing bricks, and that's the thing is, the uncle is trying to get their 23-year-old niece to, massage their ego and tell them it's okay. Like, I'm guessing nobody gets angry at someone that's making less than them. Like if the uncle was also making six-figure salary and was also like reaching all their career goals, I don't think it would bother them that their niece is also successful. It almost would be a congratulations moment, like, wow, I can't believe you're doing well in life just like I am, bravo. No, it was probably a situation of, hey, I didn't reach my goals in life. Uncle was thinking this. I didn't reach my goals in life, and I'm not making as much money as I should. And all of a sudden, no one makes that much money. You have to be lucky, or you have to be like, a genius. So the niche showing up, OP, making that much money and having that much success, all at a very young age, is invalidating the uncle's claims of saying, oh, I can be unsuccessful and it's not my fault, it's like, well, maybe it's because we're born in this area, or we have this education, or we have this family. There's something that's saying that's allowing them mentally to be, hey, it's okay for me to be unsuccessful. And then the niece comes around and it's like, oh yeah, all that stuff just goes out the window. Now it's abundantly clear that your lack of success in life is your fault, not your environment, type of thing. So it's hard to say what that whole situation is, but I guess the decoy defense would be is, OP said, yes, I told them the number of I made or whatever, but they didn't say in what fashion they said the number. Like maybe they said, if it would be one thing to say, hey, look, I'm a 23-year-old niece and I'm making $80K a year or whatever, or maybe they're making $200K a year. So when they said, how much are you making? How do you afford that, Ferrari that's in the driveway right now? And she's like, oh yeah, take whatever you're making, uncle, and multiply that by 7. That's how much I'm making, which would make her the antagonist. And that's why maybe the father that doesn't like the uncle, his brother, just uses the daughter to like get back at the uncle, like, ha ha ha, how much is cousin making? Well, not as much as OP. And like they're just both blasting away, and maybe the sister's the only one that was like seeing it for what it really was. And it's like, wherever OP goes, that's her go-to phrase. Like, oh, how much do I make? Well, whatever you make, I'd probably multiply it by 2 and add a couple zeros in another comma. You broke MFer or whatever. Like, that's just how she was. That's how she is. She's very pompous about her early success. She's very pompous about the idea that she got, like, you know, the appellate genius grant, and she just has all this money to do nothing but study. But the rest of the family is dirt poor, where they couldn't go to college, and they you know, OP as a 6th grader riding her Razor scooter got hit by a mail truck, so she just got all this money where she didn't have to work or struggle. And then she not only did she get that money, she turned her back on family. Like, she just said, oh, I'm using that money for my education and my college career and my internships and, you know, supporting me. I don't care that everybody else is living in this, you know, Pontiac Grand Am. The whole family of 17 lives in that Pontiac Grand Am over in, like, the Sun Valley in Arizona. I don't know if that place exists, but just like, no, Death Valley in Arizona, whatever it is. And the hottest place to say, I don't care. I'm going to go live in, you know, this nice area and go to USC while you guys struggle. So maybe that's the case. And like I said, people get really angry at the decoy defense, but the decoy defense is just supposed to be ridiculous because I'm trying to defend the indefensible. The decoy court is oftentimes how I feel. The decoy defense is me trying to see the other side. So if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe down below. We'll take a brief break to give me your feedback down below in the comments, but also subscribe with the notifications on, and also give me feedback whether you like this whole very low energy, lightheaded decoy noise right now, where I'm just trying to put out videos while I'm quarantined at home, you know, like I was saying. Not the antagonist. He asked a question, you answered, he insulted you, and you defended yourself. Don't dish it out if you can't take it, is my motto. That's motto, but motto. I get what they're saying. So yeah, that's kind of the same thing I said is, you know, if he didn't want to hear how much she's making, why did he ask? That's probably him just digging his own grave right now. So the next reply was, not the antagonist. Typical boomer BS. You work hard and have skills that companies are willing to pay for that much for. Good for you. It's not like you were rubbing it in his face either. He was pushing the topic. It just reeks of jealousy, pettiness, and insecurities of your uncle. He was being rude, not you. Which I'd say, like, in the decoy defense is maybe OP was being super mean about it too. It was just like the way they framed it was in a really mean way. That's why the sister kind of agrees that they're being the bad person. Let's go ahead and read the next reply saying, not the antagonist. For answering a question, but you should have a clue now why saying your salary is probably not a good idea. Don't get me wrong, I absolutely believe you deserve it. Salary is dependent on demand and supply, and if you're a good software engineer, you get a high salary. I, a 43-year-old female, work in a tech company, not software engineer, but am also an expert in my field, and I have a very good salary. I was a freelancer for 10 years before that, and also made very good money, so I can afford things like a big apartment, so on and so forth. I stopped talking about the money I earn, including the family, because it causes envy and lots of revulsion. In my case, mostly from the husbands or boyfriends of my female friends or male relatives. They don't get how a woman can earn this much money. Scandalous. Because they compare themselves, and 99% of them make or earn 2/3 of what I earn at the best. Even though I find it ridiculous and shameful for them, I kinda get it. Let's face it, salary is not something that is fair. A nurse, kindergarten teacher, etc. earn much less, but their jobs are at least less important or as stressful as mine. The reasons why I earn this much is because the industry I work in, there is big money and specialized people earn lots of money. Good for me. Yes, I earn this through hard... Okay, so you know what? Yeah, oh my gosh. Okay, so I like what they're saying. I like... But this was just becoming like, I'm patting myself on the back. I'll pat you on the back. I'll pat myself on the back. Look how great we are. Okay, so cool. Good. That's great. I love that they're making this good money, but I only have so many words with my voice right now. So it's good that they have something in common with OP, and they're sharing their story and the whole idea that, you know, this is okay for you to do it, but also many reasons why they shouldn't be sharing their salary, because it does cause envy, jealousy, and the whole, you know, male to woman thing with family members and boyfriends, that they get very irked by the idea they make this much money. It's probably a good advice for them, saying that, you know, you shouldn't have to filter yourself for the sensitive people in your life, but sometimes family, especially if you can't get around seeing them, it's easier just to be the bigger person in that situation, where it's like, yeah, I make more money than you. Don't drive your Pontiac Grand Am if you have a Jaguar if you don't feel like it. But the idea is, you don't gotta rub it in. Like, you know, sad to say, the best revenge, the best, you know, way to stick it to the uncle is like, hey, uncle's got to wake up tomorrow and they're still the uncle and you're still OP. You're still, you know, a 23-year-old female that's making all this money and enjoying life to the fullest because you worked hard for it. They dug their own grave. So let's go ahead and get to the another top controversial comment, which is, LOL, another post about bragging about their success. It's always stating about how much money they get. So maybe there's more posts like this about money and, you know, I just haven't seen it. And the next top controversial comment was, everyone sucks here. As a fellow new grad SWE software engineer, I know that the amount of money we make shocks people, but I've gotten used to beating around the bush when that question comes up. I usually just say 6 figures if I'm trying to give them a good estimate. I feel like you were def trying to make a jab at him because of his condescending tone, but I'm not sure if it was productive. If I were you, I'd stay out of causing any trouble. Clearly your dad has a relationship with him because he has to, not because he likes him. Even though your dad supported you, I'm not sure you gained what you gained from this. Now there's just more tension. Pride? I'm not sure how much pride you should feel after sticking it to a guy who's clearly a loser. Good luck, good luck. Hope you get promoted soon. Money signs. So they got lots of downvotes. And everybody on Reddit, especially on Am I the Antagonist, they just love a good revenge story. So I get why this person's kind of getting downvoted and everything. But it is true though. The father and her uncle, they got to have a relationship. Why cause tension when you don't need to? Yes, you're making 6 figures. Yes, you're successful. That's the best revenge. Go live your best life. Yeah, it seems like they were just fighting back. And yeah, I probably would do the same thing too because I am a bit of an antagonist myself. But yeah, he's kind of sending you don't got to stoop to his level. You don't got to jab back because you just still getting your Maserati and speed off. Or you just push your button, your Tesla comes to pick you up. And it's like, you know what? I'll pick up the Jaguar later losers or whatever, like that sort of situation. So it does make sense that don't punch it down, you know what I mean? Like I see this as you're Mike Tyson, able to beat everybody up, and you got this Chihuahua running over and, like, you know, yapping. It's like, yeah, the Chihuahua can be yapping at you and talking down, but it's like it doesn't do Mike Tyson any good to knock out the Chihuahua because it's like you're above that, you know? The whole idea is, they say pride. I'm not sure how much pride you feel after sticking it to a guy that's a loser. Yeah, I mean, maybe it's just this very reaffirming moment for OP when, you know, Uncle is always doubting her and you're just a girl, you'll never be a software engineer, you're not smart enough to do that job, and now she has to finally have that vindicating moment where they get their revenge. I get that. So I mean, I think this post right here has good intentions, saying, you know, don't punch down, you're better than that. You can't really find pride in, like, beating up a loser. But then they got heavily downvoted. So maybe I'm a big antagonist too. Make sure to let me know in the comments section, and also subscribe with the notifications on, letting me know if you even like this whole low energy decoy noise. I got all this free time being stuck at home right now, so whatever, being sick is being sick. So as always, thanks for hanging out with me on the channel, reading all my content and interacting with me as much as you do. I do like reading your comments and, like, replying to them. If you want to support this channel in this very kind of transition period, make sure you go to DecoyNoise.com/donate. I have my Patreon link, I have my Ko-Fi link. Let me know if you want to support me that way, or you don't have to do that. You can just share my content or my channel with someone you think that would enjoy this type of podcast Reddit reading channel. If nothing else, go ahead and put this on autoplay and watch the next episode of Decoy Noise coming up next.